Democratic Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey is asking a federal judge to recess his impending corruption trial on days he is needed in Washington. Menendez's attorneys say the senator's absence from the Capitol could imperil votes to raise the debt ceiling and avoid a government shutdown. Federal prosecutors oppose the request, saying Menendez is not entitled to special treatment because of his status. Trial is set to begin on September 6th. Joining me now to talk about all this, founder and CEO of American Majority, Ned Ryan, and Fox News contributor Rachel Campos-Duffy. Rachel, looking just at the numbers, I mean, there are a lot of elements that go into this. If Menendez hadn't been on that last vote on Obamacare, repeal would have won. So, I mean, this could really change some votes.
It is a huge deal. And by the way, good for the judge for, at least for right now, saying he's not going to move the trial. And good for the DOJ for sending a memo reminding everyone that we're all equal under the law, that he can't hide behind the very office that he's accused of corrupting in order to get out of his trial or get over to Washington. It really could change health care. There's a ton of things that are up for legislation. Without him, without Senator Menendez, Republicans might be able to get this agenda through.
Well, let me just stay with you for a second, Rachel, because you're in the Capitol area. I mean, is it conceivable that the Republicans could take a page out of Harry Reid's book or Nancy Pelosi's book and put in a lot of votes just at the moment when Menendez is not there?
They could. And by the way, if he is convicted of this, now it goes back to Governor Chris Christie to appoint possibly a Republican, probably a Republican. This has a long-term big implications.
Yeah. Ned, you know, the extraordinary thing is most people probably didn't even know there was a Menendez corruption trial, right?
That's what I was going to say, David. A lot of people were probably not aware that he is being brought up on charges of corruption, bribery, and making false statements as a U.S. senator. And again, David, it kind of ties into not only the Menendez trial, but the Awan brothers, Fusion GPS, as you were talking about earlier. The media has been colluding to cover up some of these scandals that are really breaking on the Democrat side of things. But just to tie in a little bit to what Rachel was saying, I mean, here you have somebody that is being brought up on charges of bribery and corruption, might miss these votes. Here's the kicker, though, David. For him to actually be removed, if he chooses not to step down, if he's convicted and doesn't step down, it would take 67 senators to vote to remove him from office. And so then that becomes the question, will there be Democrats who will allow a felon, if he's convicted, to stay in office, or will they remove him and then Chris Christie could replace him?
Well, on the other hand, Rachel, justice is supposed to be blind, right? I mean, justice is not supposed to take politics into consideration at all. Maybe with the exception being an impeachment trial. But in terms of a trial like this on corruption, politics, so far, the judge in this case is just adhering to that rule of blind justice.
He is. I'm very proud of that. It makes all of us feel better about our system, that it actually works. And back to your point, I mean, the media this is outrageous. That, I mean, if you don't watch Fox News or Fox Business, you don't know about this, just like you don't know about Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I mean, it's really crazy.
Yeah, it is. Ned, I got to ask about the hurricane because it is threatening a large part of our nation right now. It turned political under President Bush, people thinking that his flyover wasn't enough with regard to Katrina. Do you think there's any chance this will turn political?
Oh, 100%, David. I think the left and the Democrats are going to look for any chance to score points, sadly, on Donald Trump, whether it's with, Confederate monuments or Charlottesville or a hurricane. And so I'm fully expecting for them to try and score points over this. And I think, right now I do think, based off what I've seen, that the Trump administration is ready. They are prepared. They're going to do the best that they can to make sure that people are taken care of in this hurricane.
They certainly seem to be ready.
You can bank on it, David, that people will seek to score political points
somehow, somewhere. Rachel, very quickly, the president is in Camp David with his family this weekend. Do you think he may have to fly to Texas?
He may have to. I mean, listen, he is not going to get the pass that Barack Obama got when he fumbled the BP oil spill. He has to be on this. He has to prove that he's the CEO that we elected him to be. And there is no room for error. They are ready to pounce on him with anything that goes wrong.
I think you both are right. Ned Ryan, Rachel Campos-Duffy, thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend.